Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that asks the fundamental questions of life. I'm Charlotte Dobre and today's question is, did Atlantis really exist? Atlantis is a legendary lost island, often regarded as an advanced civilization and utopian society. Legend has it, Atlanteans also held the secret to achieving world peace. The story has captivated historians for generations. Even though the current idea of Atlantis speaks of it as a peaceful, utopian society, it sure didn't start out that way. It was first mentioned by the Greek philosopher Plato in his works Timaeus and Critias, written in 330 BC. In these works, it represented the antagonist naval power that attacks ancient Athens. The story goes like this. Athens is attacked by Atlantis and defends itself better than any other nation of the known world at the time. Atlantis ends up falling out of favor with the gods and submerges into the Atlantic Ocean. Not much is said about the location of Atlantis. All it says in Plato's works is that it's located beyond the Pillars of Hercules. The works also said that the island was allegedly larger than Libya and Asia together, and it was possible for travelers to use it to cross to other islands. One important thing to note is that Plato did not speak of Atlantis as if it were a myth. He actually believed it existed, or portrayed it that way. He also claimed to know the exact size of the capital of Atlantis, and he says it existed around 9600 BCE. Plato also wasn't the only academic that wrote of Atlantis. Hellenistic Jewish philosopher Philo wrote about the destruction of Atlantis in the 1st century AD. Even Christopher Columbus tried to find Atlantis at one point. The idea that Atlantis was a lost advanced civilization was first proposed in 1881 by a writer named Ignatius Donnelly. According to Donnelly, the accomplishments of ancient civilizations like agriculture, religion, and language must have come from Atlantis. He argued that ancient cultures did not have the knowledge to develop these ideas on their own, so they must have been guided by an advanced culture. From there, many other writers and theorists expanded on Donnelly's theory. Perhaps some of the best evidence that exists that suggests the ancient world had knowledge we don't yet know about is a device called the Antikythera mechanism. The Antikythera mechanism was an ancient analog computer used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses. It was found in the early 1900s at the Antikythera shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera. It is believed to have been made by early Greek scientists, and it's around 2200 years old. Knowledge of this type of advanced technology was lost and did not appear again in history until the 14th century. But just because the ancient world had advanced technology, that doesn't mean Atlantis was the place it originated. As it stands right now, Atlantis is accepted by most academics as a fictional place that was invented by Plato, but there are still many who wonder if the story was inspired by a real place. The legendary city of Troy was once believed to be a fictional place, but a rich German businessman followed the writing of the Iliad and he ended up finding it. Troy was a real place. There have been those who have claimed to have found the lost city of Atlantis. Locations range from the Atlantic Ocean, Antarctica, Turkey, Germany, Bolivia, Malta, and the Caribbean. The problem with these locations is that Plato is very specific about where Atlantis is. He wrote, "For the ocean there was at that time navigable. For in the front of the mouth which the Greeks call, as you say, the Pillars of Hercules, there lay an island which was larger than Libya and Asia together." The Pillars of Hercules is a term for the Strait of Gibraltar at the mouth of the Mediterranean. Could it be at all possible that Atlantis sunk so deep we will never find it? We know very little about what's in our oceans, so who's to say Atlantis isn't down there somewhere? Unfortunately, no evidence of Atlantis has ever been found, even now after so many advancements in oceanography and ocean floor mapping. An island larger than Libya and Asia together would stick out like a sore thumb to oceanographers and deep-sea probes. However, a US team of archaeologists do believe they might have found Atlantis. Submerged under mudflats in southern Spain lies a lost city just north of the city of Cadiz. Tsunamis are common in this region. One of the largest on record was a 10-story tidal wave in 1755 that hit Lisbon. Using deep-sea mapping, the team discovered a city built in Atlantis' image that was wiped out by a tsunami. Cadiz is very close to the Strait of Gibraltar, which is right where the Pillars of Hercules are. People who survived the tsunami would have moved inland to build settlements. However, this lost city was not an island, the way Plato described it. Nevertheless, these findings were presented in the National Geographic special, Finding Atlantis. So then, did a huge island called Atlantis, the size of Libya and Asia combined, sink into the depths of the ocean? No, it didn't. So then, did Atlantis really exist? Until more evidence is found, we can conclude that Atlantis did not exist. That is all for now. Thanks for tuning into Life's Biggest Questions. Did you agree with us? Did you not? Write your responses in the comments down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend, and subscribe to LBQ.